Power Pivot, Big Data Analysis Made Easy. In this course, I'm going to share with you the state-of-the-art data analysis tool in Microsoft Excel and how you can double, triple, or even quadruple your big data analysis initiatives and be well positioned to the next phase of self-service dashboard reporting. Are you ready? Now let's start. Background: Data analysis challenges. As accounting professionals, most of us use Excel's pivot tables and know how to set up basic formulas inside a pivot table to do some built-in calculations. However, the problems with pivot tables are multiple. First, Excel spreadsheet has a limit of 1 million rows. You cannot process data more than 1 million rows. Although Power Query is fast, but it could be faster in calculation. Second, it is practically not possible to combine data from different sources in different formats into one table, because data tables are disconnected. You can use VLOOKUP, or you can use merge query in Power Query, but all these need to merge one query one by one at a time. Third, the calculation formulas with the pivot table are very primitive and not sufficient to empower in-depth calculations and analytics. This means the formulas are not portable, meaning you cannot reuse them for other calculations. Drum roll! Now introducing the much anticipated Excel add-in, the Power Pivot, which started in 2009 and was quickly embraced as a powerful alternative to pivot table calculations. It opened the door to even more powerful dashboard building and AI self-service reporting, the Power BI, which we'll be talking about in the next video. Power Pivot to the help. Data analysis with Power Pivot. First, Power Pivot can connect to over 1 million rows of data. There will be no limit on the data sources. And also, it sets you up for big data analysis. Second, Power Pivot can combine all data sources into one pivot table. Isn't that wonderful? You will have no VLOOKUP anymore and no merge query one at a time. The pivot table is more comprehensive. Third, in Power Pivot, you will have a plethora of formulas called DAX, or Data Analysis Expressions. They are easy to build and more intelligent and more powerful. Plus, the formulas can be reused. Now, with Power Pivot, you can literally connect all these tables one by one without much effort and then dump them into a pivot table and pivot chart. Now, the beauty with Power Pivot is that once you connect every table into one table, you can query on different tables or different dimensions like segment, consumer, category for furniture, market, let's select US, subcategory, furnishings, and which salesperson. So with the help of Power Pivot, you can slice and dice into different dimensions at the click of a button. How lovely is that? Before we move on to the course, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lenny Wu. I'm a PD instructor at various online platforms. I received my MBA Finance from the George Washington University in the year 2000. I received CPA, CGA from CPA Canada in 2012. I'm a certified Adaptive Insights professional, and also I'm certified Zero Accounting Partner. I sat as an examiner of IELTS, or International English Language Testing System, and I was an exam trainer of TOEFL, GRE, I have over 22 years working with Microsoft Excel. I'm a modeling expert in Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power BI. And I'm also a proponent of OCR, or one-click reporting, and SSR, self-service reporting. Why this course? The purpose of this course is to help you to learn about using DAX formulas, also known as data analysis expressions, to learn how to connect data from different sources before feeding them into one single pivot table, to learn relationship mapping, Power Pivot's way of doing VLOOKUP, to learn about the best practices in Power Pivot modeling, and to be well positioned for building the ultimate dashboard in Power BI that utilizes DAX formulas. Introduction to Power Pivot. Power Pivot started in 2009 as an Excel add-in and later on evolved into a powerful data analysis tool. You can download Power Pivot add-in from Microsoft website and then install into your Excel. So on Microsoft website, scroll down and click download to have Power Pivot for Excel 2010 and Excel 2013. After Excel 2013, you already have Power Pivot built into Excel. So once you download, click install and follow the instructions. In Excel, once you're installed Power Pivot add-in, go to File, Options, Add-ins. In Manage Add-ins, select COM Add-ins and click Go. In the list of the add-ins, select one for Microsoft Office Power Pivot for Excel 2013. Click OK. Now with Power Pivot add-in included, let's click Power Pivot. Now you can see there are just a couple of buttons on Power Pivot add-in. You have Manage, Measures, which we are going to talk about. It's basically the formulas in Power Pivot. KPIs, Add to Data Model, Detect, and Settings for Power Pivot. For this session, we are going to focus on the first button, Manage, which is the button to open Power Pivot. Let's click this button. Now, once you click the Manage button, you are now in the Power Pivot environment. Now you have three tabs: Home tab, Design tab, and Advanced tab. In the Home tab, you have several buttons to open the data sources, just like you would see in Power Query. And once you open the data, you can use other buttons to further process the data and then dump them into the data model. For this exercise, we are going to open an Excel file with the data source. Let's click From Other Sources. For the Get External Data, which is very familiar in the Power Query environment, these two are interchangeable, but I'm going to show you how you can use Power Pivot to grab the data directly from the data sources. First button is From Database, such as SQL Server, Access, and other analysis services. Or you can draw the data from Data Service. In this exercise, we are going to draw the data from Excel file, so I click From Other Sources. The window pop up for Data Import Wizard. Let's scroll down to the bottom of the list. You can see text files, Excel file, or text file. For this exercise, we are going to open the Excel file. Let's click Import Data from an Excel file. Click Next. Next, Power Pivot asks us to provide the Excel file path. You can copy the path in and paste it in here, or you can browse for your files. We are going to select this data file in Excel. Select, open. Automatically, Power Pivot assign the name of the file to this connection name. What is important to notice is that let's check this button, use first row as column headers, because we have the table with the headers in the first row. Before you row in, you can click Test Connection. And here the window pop up and say, Text connection succeeded. Perfect. Click OK. Click Next. And here you have some buttons. Select Related Tables. If these tables are related, click Preview and Filter. Let's click this before we finish the loading. In the Preview window, you can see your table is in order. The first row is the table header. Here you can also select some columns which you do not need to row in by uncheck the column, for example, ship and customer ID, or you can leave all those columns in. Now, click OK and click Finish. Once we click Finish, Power Pivot will row in all the data. Once it's done, it will give you the success message. Hooray! Close.